Hi, I'm Beck and Food's my life. Now today I'm going to make some delicious fudge and it's coming right up. So today I'm making my choc almond fudge. Now the base fudge recipe here only requires 4 ingredients, and I love this recipe because it's never failed me. I can always depend on this. Now today I'm adding the 5th ingredient. I'm adding some almonds because I love to have a little bit of a crunch through my fudge, and I just think chocolate and almonds work perfectly. But of course this is where you have some room to move. You can be creative as you want and use whatever mix-ins you want, or you can just keep it nice and plain dark chocolate fudge. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, now I'm doing this all at the stove because at the end we're going to have to work quickly. So I've got my ingredients ready and I have a square 20 by 20 cake tin that I have roughly lined with baking paper. So I have a heavy base saucepan here and I'm going to put the heat on quite low to start with. Okay, we don't want to burn any of this at any stage. So in my pan, I have some caster sugar. Now to this, I'm going to add some double cream. So the really, really thick stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to mix them together. And at this stage, the idea is we're heating the ingredients. Okay, we're not doing any cooking yet. We're just heating it to melt them all together. Now, the final ingredient at this stage is some liquid glucose. Now, I find this works a treat when you're making fudge. It just really helps you achieve a beautiful texture to your fudge. And of course, all that cream, you can imagine how creamy this is going to be, right? So, adding these 3 ingredients, heating them through, and just making sure that they combine in the pan. Okay, so they're coming together quite nicely. Now, once they have melted, you're going to bump your heat up to fairly high because we want to now bring this to a boil. So, sorry to say it, but we're going to be standing here and stirring for quite a long time, but you have to, because if you walk away and it burns, you've totally ruined the whole batch. So stay close by, bring that to a boil and stir, stir, stir until that mixture leaves the pan. Or you could always do the softball test as well to know that you've reached the correct stage. And then we're going to add the last couple ingredients. Okay, so I've been stirring for about 20 minutes now. And I'll tell you what I did. I brought it to the boil, but then I put my fire down quite low. I also have to admit I've made a bit of an error. I've used a pan that's a bit on the small side, so please don't use a pan any smaller than this size. Try and find one larger than this if you can. So because it's a bit of a smaller pan, I couldn't risk it bubbling up, so I've kept my fire down quite low. If you've got the room and you can crank it up high and just keep on stirring, that's fine as well. Ultimately, it doesn't matter how you do it. We're just trying to reach a certain temperature. Now, before I mentioned, cooking it until the mixture leaves the bottom of the pan. I can't test that now because if I tilt the pan, I can't see the bottom. And you can always do the soft ball stage, but what I've done is I've now opted to use a thermometer. So if you want to use a confectionery thermometer, soft ball stage is 115 degrees Celsius. I'm now at 110, I have 5 degrees to go, and then I will be done. Okay, well, I have reached that final stage. I am a little bit past 115 degrees Celsius, so I know the mixture is just right. I've put my fire off now, so those bubbles are just subsiding, bringing the mixture down a little bit. And now I'm going to add some dark chocolate, and we're going to stir that in. It's really such a simple recipe. The only thing is it's time consuming. And yes, you get a bit of a sore arm with the stirring process, but you know what? You can't make as good fudge any other way. There's so many different ways of doing it, but I've just found this recipe is the best. That really smooth texture that you want from fudge. Not grainy and sugary, just perfect. All right, so we've stirred all that in. And now you can leave it like this. If that's the way you want it, leave it. Just pour it into your prepared tray, but I'm going to add those nuts. Now here are my almonds. I have put them in the oven about an hour ago and I toasted them. Toasted almonds, you're always going to get a better flavour than just putting them straight in from the packet. So please go that extra step. It's always worth it. Toast your almonds, pop them in, or any other nut of course, and stir that in. Okay. And now I'm going to now pour this mixture into my pan and leave it on the bench top to set. And that's it. Fudge is done. Welcome back, it's a new day. So yesterday I allowed my fudge to come to room temperature on the bench and then I let it set in the fridge. I had a bundle of other things to do yesterday, so I'm just getting around to cutting it up now and I can show you it has worked out perfectly. The texture of this fudge is beautiful and smooth, and what I love about the appearance of this fudge is it's always beautiful and glossy on top. I think it has something to do with that liquid glucose, which is why I just love this recipe. It's easy and it always works. So now it's your turn. If you want to have a go at making my choc almond fudge, then all you need to do is check out the description box below, because there you'll find a link to my website and you'll find it from there. It's only $1, pay by PayPal or credit card. And if you've liked this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, or better still, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, because that way you'll get a little notification every time I've cooked something new. And I'll see you next time.